Reynaldo. Taejoon Lee is the modern bearer of an ancient tradition of Hwarang Knights, who helped unify. This is the one I told him I would read. Master Lee has accomplished quite a few things in his life, and we are all quite aware of them. But it's more important, I believe, to understand the impact, not simply in martial arts, nor in the World Hwarangdo Association, not in Los Angeles, or even the United States, but in the community we call the human race. Henry Adams once said, "A teacher affects eternity. He can never tell where his influence stops." That is more true of Kuksanim than most of the teachers I've come across. I've come across quite a few. I've been gainfully employed as a teacher for the last 15 years, which means I've encountered literally thousands of people who claim to be teachers, starting with the people who brought me into this world, my parents. Only a few of them stand out, like Master Lee. Master Lee teaches the lessons that we most need as individuals in order to be productive members of the human community. Sometimes the lessons aren't taught the way you'd like, with a pretty please and a thank you. But you know how the song goes. You can't always get what you want, but if you try sometimes, you might find you get what you need. As a student, as a teacher, as a person, I need Master Lee. I need his dedication to my self-betterment. I need his loyalty to his principles. I need his unwavering commitment to his students. It's not that I need him to yell at me. Well, maybe sometimes. This one time at the dojang, I definitely did need him to yell. I was testing for my Taesudo half black belt. It was a bright Saturday morning. The sun was shining. The birds were chirping merrily outside. I was getting close to my black belt test, which meant I'd been training for a few years. So I was confident. I knew what to do. I was prepared. The test was going along fine. Basics, kyup. Taesu Iljin Young, kyup. Kicking test number 1. Kicking test number 1. Kicking test number 1? I drew a blank. I stood, rooted to the mat, the far right side, next to the weapons. So of course he zeroed on me. "What's wrong with you?" The air stopped moving. The dojang was silent. Even the birds outside were waiting for an answer. Tell the truth. I forgot my kicking test, sir. As his eyes got smaller with his glare, my eyes got bigger like a deer in the headlights. The sweat pouring down my back puddled along the seams of my black and white TGT uniform. Because you know, TGT, we're setting an example. "How many times you done this basics, huh? It's the same in brown and red, no?" I said, shh. And here's the thing. Here's where he was the teacher that I needed. The teacher that I try to be with my own students. He let me sit there. All eyes on me. All pressure on me. The other 3 people standing there going, oh, it's not me. You were testing too, huh? For those of you who don't teach, this may sound cruel. Why didn't he help me out? But he did help me out. By forcing me to deal with the situation, which, by the way, was my own creation. He was teaching me to be self-sufficient. He was holding me accountable for my actions, for my mistakes. As a teacher, I know it's not easy to sit there and watch your students deal with their consequences. Your first inclination is to give them the answer. But as Denzel Washington said in Remember the Titans, you're crippling them. You're crippling them. Master Lee has not crippled anyone. Ever. Master Lee, Grandmaster Lee, is the teacher we all need because he teaches us to walk on our own. Day in and day out, he's there like a physical therapist, making us exercise the muscles that have atrophied through lack of use. Muscles like self-governance, self-discipline, honor, humility, compassion, empathy. And it's not just me. He's taught and is teaching the same lessons in thousands of classes to tens of thousands of students in his lifetime. He's dedicated himself to the improvement and the preservation of humanity, one human at a time. As we've listened and seen tonight, the men and women who train with Kuksanim are exemplary, are leaders in their fields across the spectrum. Some of them have reached the zenith of their careers. Some of them are freshmen in high school. Some of them are 4 years old. They all carry with them the lessons learned on the mat with Grandmaster Lee. For the record, red belt kicking test number 1 is side kick, heel hook chop, high spin, low spin, back fist punch. Yep! Henry Adams once said, a teacher affects eternity. He can never tell where his influence stops. I, for one, want to say thank you to Grandmaster Lee for being my teacher. Kamsa Hamnida, Kuksanim. Ladies and gentlemen, Kuksanim, Grandmaster Taejoon Lee.